Oh man, Alex, how's it going?
Yo,
How was the not Americas?
it was nice. It was different.
That's fair. That's fair.
And just remember, I was on European time, so when you were at your cube with your Dr. Pepper,
Mm-hmm.
I had some other beverages
You
in
were
my
you
hand
were
at that
having
time.
adult libations, which I know I said I was gonna have a different irrelevant drivel at the start of the stream today, the pod today, but we're gonna talk about the word libations for a second. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's the most like New England way of saying there's alcohol ever, because the only place I've ever heard it is like at like my dad's company picnic, like on the little invitation that they'd send him. There'll be libations for those over the age of 21. I didn't know what libations was. I was like, that's weird, but whatever. And my dad's like, it's booze. It's booze, Mike. It's booze. One time when I was like 10. So that word forever will just be associated with 10-year-old me not understanding things. Um, but the other thing I wanted to go on about, and I was thinking about it this morning going to work, was rain, right? When we get rain in the Boston area, it'll pour, but not to the point where you can't see the back of your car from your driver's seat. But that's how bad it was this morning in Cincinnati. I was literally I had my hazards on and I was going 25 miles an hour down 75 and I was the fastest car on the road. I
I
was
was
the
when I
fastest
drove
car
back
at
up.
25.
I think I was I think I was near Penn State roughly,
Mhm.
but I had similar like couldn't move, couldn't see maybe 5 feet in front of me.
Exactly.
I'm just like, all right, if I can find somewhere to pull over, I'll pull over. But I just kept going.
But
It's, you know,
it's one of those things like we look at rain, right? At home being the Boston area.
yeah,
And I'm just like, well, it sucks to drive, but at least I can see. And if it pours like that, it pours like that for like 10 minutes maximum. 10 minutes
yeah.
maximum. No, it was pouring like that when I got up. So I got up, I showered, I got ready for work, got my shit together for work, and then drove to work probably over the course of 45, 50 minutes. And it was just pouring like that the whole time. And it let up only while when I got to Paycor Stadium. Actually, I was driving past Paycor when it let up, and I was like, hey, there's a stadium right here to my left, a lane and a half away. I can see that now. But it's just rain's different out here. And people that haven't experienced that are like, no, rain is the same everywhere. Don't be an idiot. But I really think that rain is just different, man.
Kind of like how the the alphabet around here is a little bit different from there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Speaking about different, change of scenery. Today was the MLB trade deadline. The deadline as of recording the podcast was an hour ago, as it's 7:02 p.m. on the 31st of July 2025. So it's over, it's done. I mean, there's probably some teams still working some deals somewhere. Um, but they submitted them to the league already, so the league will accept them because reasons. I'm I'm ecstatic to see what change of scenery does for some guys. I think there's a few guys that the change of scenery will be good. Uh, Trades that I thought were kind of out of left field. The Mason Miller trade, I did not foresee him
Yep.
getting dealt. Um, Miguel Andujar to the Reds was another one I didn't see happening. Um, What's another kind of big one? It's a couple.
Correa, the
It was a
Astros.
well, yeah, Correa back to the Astros. That's a big one, actually. And then,
Uh, Merrill Kelly to the Rangers.
yeah, Merrill Kelly to the Rangers. This one, I don't think it's a huge one, but Steven Matz to the Sox for Blaze Jordan.
Yep.
I think that
Oh,
one might actually have some sting in the future.
I think we needed another lefty, but
The Twins were the ultimate sellers.
but
It felt like.
yeah, they didn't sell their the one pitcher everybody thought they were going to move. It was Joe Ryan, and he didn't get moved. So I don't know what that's going to look like now.
Because the Twins got rid of Luis Verlander, Ty France, Danny Coleman, Griffin Jacks, Correa, Bader, and Brock Stewart, and that's just today.
Griffin Jacks got moved too. He was a last minute.
Yeah, I saw the Griffin Jacks one pop up. I was like, I realized that it was a pitcher for a pitcher. And I know the Orioles specifically, speaking of teams that made weird trades, the Orioles and Blue Jays the other day made the trade in the middle of the doubleheader. Did you see that? Sir Anthony Dominguez?
Yeah, I saw the video of the minor leaguer going from one side through the home plate seating just to go to the other side.
I know Dominguez
And
did
then
the same thing. He literally played the first game with the Orioles and then came back out in the third inning to go to the Blue Jays pen.
they put so their equipment guys messed up, so they put the 8 on upside down. Do you ever see that?
I have not, no. But
Go on the Twitter.com, they'll probably find it. But
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I didn't notice it until I looked at it again this morning.
Let's but yeah, no, I think a lot of big moves, a lot of good moves. I think it's gonna shape up to be a weird rest of the second half / postseason, because just it felt like this year when I was looking at the deadline. Maybe if I watched the deadline closer than I have in the past, but I saw a lot more bigger names. It felt like moving. Obviously this is 6 days old at this point, but the Rockies trading McMahon to the Yankees on the 25th, and the Yankees also
That one was,
acquired Ahmed Rosario. And Carlos Carrasco.
I didn't see him move.
He moved on the 28th. The Yankees traded him to Atlanta for cash. He literally got sold for Coke or Pepsi.
Or
I don't
bucket
know.
of balls.
For money.
A bucket of balls is
Austin, I did
monetary
see
value.
Austin Slater came over to the Yankees from the White Sox yesterday. And then they DFA'd Brian De La Cruz, picked up Jake Bird from the Rockies as well. Trading Oswald Pereza blows my mind for what they traded as well.
I think I wish the Red Sox. I'm gonna rant about this later, bro. But
go ahead, do you, bud? And I mean, obviously, there's other ones that like we noted. There were some guys that got flipped that aren't on the transactions. page, like Taylor Rogers. We mentioned I'm not seeing on the MLB trade transaction tracker, but we saw that it was confirmed via the Twitter box or the X.com box actually.
Remember, so this goes back to when we were doing the Devers trade stuff, and how Breslow said the Red Sox would be buying at the deadline.
Yes.
What's your definition on that term of buying at the deadline?
So, I will tell you the Red Sox were one of the teams I didn't really watch, but I can see in the last 2 days they made one transaction. It's that Steven Matz trade that we saw.
They also got Dustin May today, within the last 2 hours.
Okay, so again,
so
some stuff that's just
let me
not
preface.
on
Again, let me preface. They've made 2 trades since Craig Breslow said at the end of June-ish that they were going to buy at the deadline. That, to me, does not signify that you were buying. That shows like you're gonna be aggressive, but you weren't aggressive. Am I missing something here that he was talking about, or is it what's going on here?
I think he had a plan, and how much do the Mikey Yastrzemski trade is up there. By the way, did you see Mikey Yastrzemski's catch the other night? Speaking of Mikey Yastrzemski, where he went literally over the wall.
I could do that.
He caught the ball and didn't hurt himself, though. That part you couldn't do, Alex. That part I couldn't do.
I mean, you're doubting my athletic abilities, but
I've seen your athletic abilities in person, without unencumbered by the alcohols or the Celsiuses.
Yeah, that's fair.
But so that's the thing. Like, that shocked me. Kansas City picking up Yastrzemski. Now, I mean, baseball is a business at the end of the day, and you have to do what's best for your stakeholders. Your stakeholders in this case are obviously your front office, your personnel, and then your fans, right? You want people coming through the gates. And so this is where my hot take is going to happen, and it's specifically geared more towards the teams like the Red Sox, because I feel like the Yankees most years are in this camp, and they're not. They almost rely solely on their brand, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the Boston Red Sox brand, the Dodgers brand, the Yankees brand, they're kind of the 3 teams that I see do it the most. When they have a piss-poor trade deadline, in the eyes of the average fan, because we're going to only talk about the eyes of the average fan. Obviously, we're not in those front offices. We're not in those conversations. We don't know what moves are being made in the background, whether it's call-up send-downs, right? What sort of stuff's happening in those situations that is keeping the front office busy. But to the average fan, and I think you as a fairly average Red Sox fan, have said that you thought this was a pretty poor deadline for the Red Sox, right?
I think it's piss poor in the way that your general manager says one thing about being like how Dave Dombrowski was when he was GM and just making moves all the time and being aggressive in order to get the guys you want.
Mm-hmm.
And saying you're going to channel the same frame of mind and then only make 2 trades and be linked to 2 other pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but
I guess
so. We're going on the premise that you consider it a piss poor deadline.
I do in a lot of Red Sox Twitter as well.
That's where we're going with this.
Yeah.
I think the Boston Red Sox are so in on the fact that their brand is the Boston Red Sox, right? They always, you wearing a Sox hat right now, like you'll still rep their merch even if they're piss poor, because they honestly in our lifetime, outside of a year or 2 here and there, the Red Sox have been such a solid team that brand identity's gotten so much stronger. Not that it wasn't already strong, but the brand identity's gotten so much stronger to the point that they can have these bad trade deadlines and Fenway's still going to be full. You know?
Yes, I mean, I think it's...
And at the end of the day, if they're making moves that are saving them money, because it looks like that's what every single move they made was, including the Devers move. It was saving us money.
Yeah.
Not that you're going to see it reflected in your ticket prices at all.
Oh, not at all.
And I don't think you should, for the record. I think sports should always have a price tag that the market is willing to bear. And it's usually a pretty high price tag at the major league levels. Especially now because, again, the brands of Major League Sports have gotten so strong. So you're not having half-empty stadiums where you're considering taking a haircut on seats just to get people in to hopefully buy hot dogs and merch and what have you. So
yeah, but I mean, I'm just trying to look at Dustin May. So I think we have him for at least one more year after this. No, he's a rental. I think, after
I was going to
this
say,
year.
It feels like there were a lot of like weird rental moves this year too. Which is fine, because I think I saw something that said, like, especially in the American League side, it's pretty damn wide open. For
Yeah, so Matz is a free agent at the end of the year as well, so it's like we're getting rentals for the rest of the year just to get us by.
Hey, sometimes the rentals work, right?
That's been proven. That is a. But I think my whole point.
I don't love the rental philosophy, but
That's how I know you.
I think if you're smart about it, it works when you're smart about it.
no, that makes perfect sense. I forgot I didn't have follow notifications. Sophia_VTuber10, thank you for the follow. So we're gonna get off topic here for a second because of that follower notification. So as you probably know, you've watched The Office, right?
Yep.
Do you remember the CPR episode?
What season was it?
It's whenever Stanley has the heart attack, so like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Maybe 6. That kind of the middle of the show, the height of the show. And I forgot that my follower notification on Twitch here is Creed in that seminar saying, "You were in the parking lot earlier. That's where I know you from." And that's the follower notification sound. And I was like, why am I hearing Creed Bratton all of a sudden? Because
I got another somewhat off kilter thing, but it involves the Office multiverse now, I guess.
Okay.
So I remember like one day on the internet, because it's 2025, the year of our Lord, the internet. In about a month, the follow-up series to The Office debuts.
Yes, I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it greatly. I think the fact it's going to come out right around the start of hockey season.
Oscar?
Yeah, Oscar's in it. I think he's going to be the actual connecting dot. Which is awkward because obviously, as you know, he was a Pennsylvania State Senator at the end there.
Right, yeah.
That's canon, so I wonder how they're going to
work that
through. That being said, it would be very easy to be like, well, he was a Pennsylvania State Senator. As a result, this company reached out to him for a job when he decided to step out of politics. That's like a very easy, thing they could potentially write, assuming they remember. Also, for the record, and this has been my theory for a while, I think the actual events of The Office, as we watch them, occur all in that last second, right before the second to last episode, or during the second to last episode of The Office, when they're airing, because it ends with them airing the documentary series. So all the events you actually are witnessing at that point. Because you're witnessing an edited version of it, obviously. So I think those events, you're not witnessing them the 7 years prior. You're actually witnessing them via the documentary.
You see what the Montreal Expos tweeted?
No, I did not.
I'm adding them to our follow. I'm adding them to our follow list.
We traded no one
so
today. All right, so the Expos do the same thing as the Thrashers. Oh, they actually say.
They actually tweeted that publicly, so I think that's a great tweet.
Well, so there's a Twitter, not Atlanta Thrashers, that tweets during the NHL trade deadline and everything.
Oh no, this is the verified Montreal Nationals account. No, it's not okay. It's a Quebec talk show host, but
yeah. So they've updated it now, obviously, because it's not Twitter anymore. So the not Thrashers is the not Twitter of the not Atlanta Thrashers, drafting poorly since 1999, believe in Blue Land, which I believe was probably what their hashtag would have been, because hashtag kind of got bigger after they moved, and clearly a parody. But they tweet rather often, but they so on the 5th of March, which was right around the deadline of the NHL this year, the not Thrashers tweeted, Thrashers have projected $88 million of available cap space ahead of the NHL trade deadline. They didn't tweet the "we didn't trade anyone this year" tweet, which is fine. That's fine. Oh wow, that's bad.
What?
The upside down 8. Like, it's easy. It's hard to notice, but
it's there. But it's also
since you pointed it out to me, and I looked at the picture, I was like, oh yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious now that I'm looking at it. But
I know a guy that wouldn't do that. We both know a guy.
Mm-hmm. You know, I kind of want him to put a jersey upside down now. Put the numbers on a jersey upside down now. I think that'd be hilarious. Because if it ever happens, we're just going to blame him anyway. Even if it's not a jersey that he works on. But yeah, I think the best segue at this point, Alex, is obviously we've talked about the deadline a little bit, and then of course went off topic, because if we didn't go off topic, would it really be us? But the Office spinoff I'm super amped for, and what I was gonna say, and I know I didn't say it yet, is I'm amped that it's gonna be coming out right as hockey season's starting, and I realize that's when I'm in my busiest time, but like I'll have something new I can kind of grind through and watch in that time, and that'll be fantastic. As something to come home from work during those busy days and just kind of knock out something new, because I'm a big fan of anything and everything that I can have that's new in my life. I think that's part of why we're in this industry, right? We want stuff to be ever changing, ever flowing, and we don't actually want the same day to day. Like we talked about The Office earlier. Like, if I was a salesman at a company like Dunder Mifflin, and I'm using this completely hypothetically because I've never done non-sports sales, but I could pretty regularly estimate what a day is going to be like without any given surprise. Whereas in sports, I think it's different because, like, obviously you have your 3-4 months where you're in your off season where your whole life and whole process is completely different. And then a game day is different than a game day Wednesday is different than a regular day Wednesday during the season because of like the level of clients that you're interacting with at a different level. Like, because I have people that are like, hey, I want to switch out of tonight's game. Hey, I want to switch into tonight's game. Hey, my kid's sick and I can't make the game in 3 weeks, but I'm calling you today. Type deal. I've actually, all three of those phone calls have been phone calls that I fielded before. And
I wasn't going to ask if that was today, but
No. This is over the course of
your career.
7 years I've been in this industry, because 2018 was when I started, September of 18. So we're coming up on 7 years in this industry, Alex. Well, it was kind of one, then off for, because I worked 18 into 19. That's the one. And then I was off for 19 into 20, 20 into 21, and then it was 2022 in January is when I came back. When I wound up at the arena team and met yourself as a result of my job. And so we're on our fourth straight season, and 7th year overall. But I've had all those phone calls. My favorite one ever was the person that called me, and this was in Manchester. Someone called me on a Wednesday game day. Answer the phone. Manchester Monarchs. This is Michael, because that's how I answered the phone. Because we were the Monarchs. I am Michael.
Oh, you go government. Okay.
That's how I answered the phone. Answered the same way at the arena team. Insert team here. This is Michael. Just who we are, who I am. Very to the point answer. And someone called me, said, "Hey, Mike, my kid's sick right now." I was like, "Okay." Pull up their account. Your next game's in 3 weeks. Yeah, no, we won't be able to make it because my kid's sick today. The game is in 3 weeks and it's on a Friday. And it's a Wednesday. So it's over 3 weeks away. You can't tell me that your kid's going to be sick on that day. But they did. And I was like, all right, sweet. What do you want to do with your ticket? Asked me, hey, can we move it from that date to... it was actually the night we played Cincinnati. Because they wanted to get Pink in the Rink tickets. So I moved it for them.
Foreshadow.
Yeah, I know. I think about that all the time, that my first year in this industry, obviously we played Worcester a ton. And then I'd go work in Worcester in the same arena. Not the same team, but in the same arena. And then we played Cincinnati. And I'm now here in Cincinnati. So it's kind of funny. I wonder how many of the teams that we played in that year. I do have a pocket schedule, or a couple of them at my mom's house, actually. And I had I just had them not that long ago. My dad found, I don't want to show the front side, but my dad found my Monarchs business cards. So I still have some of those floating around.
That's your rookie. Is that your rookie card in theory?
Technically, yes.
I'll take one signed if you're.
All right, I will sign one and send it to you. It has my actual cell phone number on it too, which is the other reason I wasn't going to show the front side.
There you go.
Because, and then I have my arena ones too, in the same bundle. I keep them on my desk at home to remind me of like where I've gone, what I've done, because I'm thankful for the opportunities I've had in this industry. And I look at them, and I'm just super happy with where I've come from, where I've been, and where I am, and where I'm potentially going to get, to say the least. But let's talk about trades. Some of the bigger trades that could have happened but didn't. I think my favorite one that I want to start with was a 1996 trade between the Yankees and the Mariners. This was the hypothetical deal of Mariano Rivera for Felix Fermin. Talk about a deal that would have been incredibly one-sided. And I don't know if the Yankees would have recovered. Like,
Yeah, I think it's one of the ones where you don't know how Rivera would have panned out.
assuming he panned out how he panned out, that would have been one of the all-time flops. And then the other kind of big one that I want to talk about, because it's one of those ones that I'm like, no way, that was almost a deal. The Expos trading Pedro for Bartolo Colon, Jarrett Wright, and prospects in '97. The prospects at hand was Cliff Lee and Grady Sizemore, and Brandon Phillips and Lee Stevens. Those were the prospects that were traded. Because obviously Colon eventually went to Cleveland, from Cleveland to Montreal. So he and Tim Drew went over, and they were traded for Cliff Lee, Grady Sizemore, Brandon Phillips, and Lee Stevens in June of 22, or 02 rather. Which, by the way, first of all, Cleveland cleaned up on that one. That actual trade. Cliff Lee and Grady Sizemore for Bartolo, that's a big win. That's a big, giant win. In my book. Like, not that Bartolo wasn't an elite player, because he was. Has one of the damn greatest home runs of all time. But Cliff Lee and Grady Sizemore in a trade package, again, they were prospects. And as a result, those prospects were... Nothing's guaranteed with prospects. Nothing's guaranteed with anyone. But I feel like prospects, it's almost a bigger, to use, I know I've used this phrasing a few times, but I'll credit what credit's due. Steve Dangle from his same name podcast, he used to be on Sportsnet in Canada, does a lot of Leafs-centric stuff. I've watched him for a while. He talks about how the draft is magic beans when you trade for draft picks. You're trading for essentially magic beans. I think, to some extent, you're doing the exact same thing when you trade for a prospect. Right? A prospect that's played AA, AAA ball, it's a little bit more of a guarantee what you're going to get. Or the assumption is a little bit more of a guarantee of what you're going to get. Because you've seen him play against professionals. It's not an 18-year-old kid who's playing at Concord Carlisle High School, Needham High School, Boston College High School, Lawrence Academy, any of the schools out in Springfield, whatever the prep school is in Fitchburg, I can't ever remember its name. But you're not seeing a kid there. You're seeing a kid that's played at least college ball, or professionally, realistically. Like, you're actually getting something of value, like of known value. You know, hey, I'm here, I'm getting this. This is what this guy can do. I've seen him do it against other professionals or potentially college minimum.
Yeah.
And I realize you can get drafted out of college, so the college side's not as great of an example. But the drafting process is chaotic. I think trading prospects is almost equally as chaotic because a guy gets called up to the MLB. Can he still shine, or does he shy away from the light? You know, does finally not being the kid on his team, the guy on his team, does that weigh on him in a negative capacity to the point where he doesn't produce to what you paid for him? And I think that weighs in GM's minds. And honestly, going back to what I said about the Red Sox like 20 minutes ago at this point, I think that's sort of the questions the GM was having. Hey, we have all these prospects, right? We're a pretty young team. Do we want to blow it up, or are we going to play with the cards we have, right?
Yeah.
We're not gonna be at the blackjack table and say, hit me. We're gonna stand with what we have and hope that the dealer, being the rest of the MLB, busts or has under the value of what we currently have. And I think that's kind of how you have to look at certain teams, like especially teams that have a lot of young talent. And so I'm not shocked that the Red Sox were able to combo that with the brand that they have, the brand they have built. So that is my 2 cents on the matter. And the other part of that is I was shocked how many moves the Yankees made. Because I feel like the Yankees are a team that kind of makes a lot of their moves in the offseason and doesn't really do a lot on the actual deadline window in general.
I get why, though.
Yeah.
Right, and this goes to... You have to look at the standings. I didn't look at the standings.
It's team building philosophy, too.
But also, we're a game and a half behind the Yankees on the wild card. And guess what the next 2 months are, basically?
The wild card race.
So yeah, the next 2 months is basically which teams are going to pull away and which teams are going to float, tread water, or what teams are just going to toss in the towel, right? So it's going to be...
Like, obviously, look at the wild card here for a second, because I think that's a good place to go to. Obviously, right now in the AL East, the Yankees are 3.5 down on the AL East to the Jays, and have that 1.5 on the Sox, which the Sox also have 1.5 on the Mariners and the Rangers, and the Guardians are the next team out at 2.5 out. So realistically, the Red Sox have 3.5 games. Not actually. That's not a very good.
2.5.
Yeah, because the Tigers have a 9-game lead in their division. Damn, the Tigers are killing it.
They were running around making moves too. So like,
I think they're also kind of like they're not as young as they were, right? A couple years ago, they were that young, super young team, and now they're
last year they were, yeah.
They're a little bit older. They have a little bit more veteran presence, in their locker room, and in their clubhouse. So I think they're now kind of saying, all right, we've seen what these young kids can do. Let's bring them veterans and other parts to actually piece together something special. And so, I think...
Okay, I got that. All right, the one trade I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, of course.
This is a trade. Yeah, it was It was a discussed idea to send Aaron Judge to the Braves before he got made his debut.
Oh, dude, that's one of those trades I look at like as a potential trade, and I'm like, I look back at it now, and that Braves team was very good, right? The 2016
15.
Braves, 15-16 Braves.
15 and 16, yeah.
They would win the World Series in what, 17? Or is it 19 they win the World Series?
21, I thought.
Whenever the Braves win their World Series.
21, yeah.
Yeah, 21. Okay. First of all, they're definitely winning the 2021 World Series. If they have Aaron Judge.
If they, yeah. It was also so the trade would have sent Judge, Severino, Gary Sanchez, Manny Buenielos, and Ian Clark into the Braves
And once
for Jason Hayward.
This is 2017,
Uh,
right?
Would have 15, yeah.
2015. Nothing would have come of the team in 2015, I don't think. But I think the 2016 Cubs don't get past the Braves in the playoffs. I don't think they do. If they have Aaron Judge. I realize he hadn't come up yet. He hadn't really come up yet, even in 2016. But
let me fact check you right there, because the 2016 Braves finished in last place that year.
if they had Aaron Judge, they wouldn't have finished in last place.
They probably would have been.
They probably would have
around
been
the Marlins
They probably would have been a playoff team.
if they call them up right away.
I think if they're making those moves, think about the extra pitching and everything too, right? Because you mentioned a lot of guys there. Honestly, I think they might have gotten a wild card. They might have beaten out the Mets for a wild card slot even. If that Braves team made the playoffs with those guys, I think they would have been.
He probably would have. He would have played left field over Matt Kemp that year.
Mm-hmm.
Or Frank Gore.
Yeah, that Braves team was not. Relist those guys and tell me that Braves team doesn't have all three of those guys starting in 2016 for the Braves.
You just want the starting nine. So it would have been Tyler Flowers behind the plate, so Sanchez would have started there.
Yep.
Freddie
obviously
Freeman
would have stayed at first.
Jace Peterson at second.
Yeah, probably would have played in second.
Eric Ibar,
Yeah,
shortstop.
probably. Because they didn't get a shortstop prospect from the Yankees. They wouldn't have gotten a shortstop from the Yankees.
I don't know who those other two guys are, to be honest with you.
What are them? What are their names?
Manny Benuelos.
Can you spell his last name?
Yeah, Banuelos. Pitcher. But I always go to Baseball Reference, man.
Yeah, I do too, but he actually was traded to the Braves in 2015.
No, so they just reworked that trade then. Because David Carpenter would have been in that trade too, anyway.
Yeah, so it seems like they basically said, hey, the Yankees said, wait up, hold a minute, we're about to trade.
We'll keep Gigantor.
We're gonna keep the good players. We're gonna keep the really good players, and
We'll give you who we're cutting from the minors.
Exactly. And again, it could have been one of the things where the Braves might have said, oh, we don't need Judge, right? We're not in a position to need Aaron Judge. And it might not be worth it for us at this time to have a guy like Aaron Judge. So for that reason, I still think with those guys, the Braves potentially could have made the playoffs in 16. But And if they did and played the Cubs, I don't think the Cubs would have made it past them. In 17, the Braves also missed by a lot. The Rockies were in the playoffs in 2017. I think maybe they would have made the playoffs, but I think that Nationals team was just too good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 2018 Nationals team was also too good. Despite the fact, I'm sorry, wasn't 2018 the year that Nationals won the World? No, they won the 17 World Series.
Oh, that was the Red Sox in 18.
Yes, the Red Sox won.
It was the Astros.
Yeah.
Oh, I got two more other deals we can talk about. One of them we were talking about the other day.
All right, hit me with them.
All right, first Todd Helton to the Red Sox. That was just an in general trade, but it wasn't a deadline day deal.
That's a big one, though. That would have been a big one. And I don't think we need to talk about deadline only day deals because I think at this point, like, deadline day deals, obviously, you have a shorter time to work.
Those are kind of. Imagine if Jacoby Ellsbury, John Lester, and Clay Buchholz were never part of the Red Sox.
I'll say it right now. I think 2007 would have been the Red Sox last World Series win. And last World Series appearance. To date. Wait.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Clay Buchholz would have been 07. Wouldn't he?
He would have been. He and Ellsbury would have been rookies that year.
So, I'm sorry. 07 wouldn't have happened either. I think 07 and 13 don't happen for the Red Sox if that trade happens. I'll say it. I'll say it very confidently.
Is it because you're a Yankee fan or what?
No, because Clay Buchholz was actually a big piece of that 07 Red Sox.
In his 4 starts? Yeah.
Playoffs, my friend. Playoffs. I'm not saying they missed the playoffs. I'm saying those playoffs.
I got his he didn't pitch in those playoffs.
I thought he didn't. Oh no,
I
it
had
was
baseball reference right
It
here.
was a regular season game that he had. Okay, maybe 07.
Yeah, the
still
no-no,
happens. That was a regular season game. No, I still think he was a big factor in that locker room, even if he didn't pitch in the playoffs.
Did I ever tell you I have his rookie auto from like 07 Topps Chrome or something?
I believe you. That was the era where I didn't really collect baseball cards anymore.
And I got the upper deck. Yeah, do the whole thing with the
Nice.
Cocoa Crisp auto with the upper deck codes on the back.
Nice. But I will stay
Remember,
firm that the 2013 World Series Red Sox don't happen without those guys.
What the hell was even?
Because who did you say it was? It was Ellsbury?
Buchholz, Ellsbury, Buchholz, Lester. Yeah, so without those 3, yeah, for sure. You know who else was on that World Series team?
Actually, you know what's wild to me? Buchholz isn't even on the Red Sox in 13.
He was on that roster, wasn't he?
I'm looking at baseball.
Yeah, let's just look. It was all the way down. That's a batting. Those are batting stats. There he is.
Oh, yeah.
So 12-1 with a 1.74.
And you said Pedroia was the other one, right?
It was Ellsbury.
Oh, Ellsbury.
Ellsbury, Lester. No, Pedroia wasn't going nowhere.
All right. So those are the 3 guys that were going to get moved. In 07.
With Mike Lowell and Julian Tavares. So it would have been 2 major leaguers and 3 minor leaguers.
Oh, and Mike Lowell, who's not on the 07 team. Or not on the other team. Lowell's gone by 13. So in 2007, if that trade had happened, Lester only gave them 4 wins, only threw 63 innings. He started 11 games, so he didn't. Not a ton, but I mean, who replaces him? Kind of could be determining. Same with 2012. Like he didn't pitch a ton of. I actually pitched 205 innings. That's a ton of innings, but
13, he had 213 that World Series year.
yeah, 213. I think the 13 World Series we can pretty cleanly say doesn't happen for the Red Sox if that trade happens.
They could have blown. If I'm not wrong, they could have blown that one too. I think that was the one the Cardinals actually made a run for it. So
that was the 4-2 series. So yes, I think the Cardinals can definitely have that. Buchholz, I mean, yeah, I realized he didn't pitch a ton of innings, and it's wild that he didn't pitch in the playoffs in 07. I thought he had, but he was the guy in the World Series. He was very big in the World Series, though.
yeah.
So I think you can probably safely assume the 13 went away. And I mean,
No, I see the logic behind it at the very least.
Ellsbury actually would have been.
Yeah, he would have been the bigger.
I think Ellsbury Lowell would have really affected that 07 Sox. Yeah. Yeah. Ellsbury Lowell 07 have over a 5 WAR combined. Almost a 6 WAR. Granted, Mike Lowell had a 5 WAR himself, and Ellsbury had a .6. But I think we can safely say that the 07 World Series, because of the bats, is gone.
You still had Ortiz, Manny, but you don't have the supplement bat behind them in that order, though. You know what I mean?
And how good was Mike Lowell defensively? Honestly, he actually was very good at third base, even in 07. That's the other thing. The defensive presence of those guys.
Which it's one of those things you can't roll out at all, is how valuable defense actually is, even though people don't want to admit that sometimes. But
No, I think obviously you need to be able to hit, but if your defense is there, then you
it doesn't
don't.
mean shit if you're.
If your offense isn't there but your defense is there, you can still win games. If your offense is there but your defense isn't there, well, yeah, of course you can still win games as well. But you have to be really good at pitching if you don't have good defense.
I think if
you don't have good offense, your defense and if you don't have good defense, you're gonna lose more baseball games than you win. Period. Stop. I think. Everyone cares about the hitting, but you can get guys in there that can play small ball if they're really good at defense, and you're probably still winning a good number of games.
I mean, in theory, I think 07, based on who the 07 rotation.
To be fair, the Rockies also had an incredibly long. I literally just watched a documentary on the 07 World Series the other day. Because I'm a friggin' nerd like that.
Wait, I missed it. Did you watch the World Series DVD?
No. I found an actual thing. It was about the Rockies. It was about the 07 Rockies. How they were this kind of Cinderella team that just ran out that had that really long break. Because remember, they don't play for over a week from the time they win the NLDS or NLCS rather.
10 days.
Yeah, it's 10 days before they have to go to Fenway Park, and they win in Colorado. So they win in Colorado, and 10 days later they're playing in Boston. And
that
their
lineup,
pitching, died. Their lineup died. Like everyone just was dead by the time that they got hit with the rust, and it led to the bats dried up, the pitching dried up, and the Red Sox were able to walk all over them.
I have a technicality for you.
Okay.
The Rockies did have a Buckles on that roster.
They did.
Yeah, Taylor Buckles was on the roster.
That is true.
Wait, was he on the? He was not on the playoff roster though.
All right, so you're wrong.
But he's on the regular season roster with 42-year-old Steve Finley, of all people.
But first of all, the Oakland Rockies needs to be examined because they have the most random dudes on that team. You could do your whole obscure Rockies team that we'll do here at some point, and it could just be the Oakland Rockies, honestly.
They had Beyond. Remember B.H. Kim, the
Kim?
submariner? Yeah, he was on that.
Let's
see who else is on here. I remember Young Jimenez.
Todd Helton's there still. Kaz Matsui. Troy Tulowitzki. I can never pronounce his name.
Tulowitzki. I had a Tulowitzki t-shirt back in the day.
I realized he was like a relatively career Rocky, except for his stint with the Jays and the Yankees. I was amped when the Yankees picked him up, by the way. Because I remembered he was good. He wasn't so good when he got back. Jeff Francis was on this Rockies team. Jeff Francis, 9th in Cy Young voting for the National League, was on this team.
Kaz Matsui, bro.
Dude, I loved Kaz Matsui. Matt Holliday was on this team. Brad Hwap was on the team. Hop, whatever.
Remember, this is my favorite thing about the deadline today is the Red Sox had Joe Ryan, according to Fox Sports, for about 180 seconds before they deleted the post and it was never heard about again.
Nice. I love that. I love when someone tries to break the trade first and then it just doesn't get finalized.
It's kind of like the whole Arson Judge situation.
The Arson Judge situation is fantastic.
That's top tier. That's top tier baseball Twitter. Like if I had to.
So, we're gonna talk about Byung-Hyun Kim for a minute. Can we talk about the fact that he played for 4 years for the Diamondbacks and only got one World Series? Because he wasn't on the Red Sox 04 World Series roster. Obviously, he was on the Rockies 05 to 07. They didn't win. Then he went to Florida for 1 year, but had 3 jerseys. I think that's my favorite fact about any player ever. He had 3 jersey numbers in 1 season. By the way, that's a sneak peek. That is one of the trivia questions I will ask you. And then he finished his career with the D-backs. And all his baseball reference pictures are just Diamondbacks ones. I gotta start asking you more obscure questions when we do trivia, Alex. And I think you're gonna get a lot of Byung-Hyun Kim trivia.
Do I have to memorize Byung-Hyun Kim stat lines?
Yeah. You're gonna need to know his Japan League stats. Bro played till 2019 in Melbourne, Australia. That's hilarious.
He's from South Korea too, so you can probably throw that in there if you wanted.
Don't worry, you're gonna have So many absurd. Your next trivia is going to come down to how well you know his baseball reference page. I tell you this now, and there'll be like one question about it. Just so I can have.
He changes. He was with the Marlins. He
changed his
He
jersey
changed his jersey
three times
three
in one
times.
year. It was the same. It was the same season. All of it was the 2008 or 9
2007.
season. Yeah, the 2007 season. Which I love the fact that he was on the Rockies, Florida, and the Diamondbacks in 2007. He played for three teams, 4 stints in 2007.
He was a starter for the Rockies that year.
Yeah, the Rockies' rotation was shit.
After Ubaldo, there wasn't much to offer.
They had almost Cy Young award-winning pitcher Jeff Francis.
Could I forget about Kansas City Royal Jeff Francis? I think he was a New York Yankee too, actually.
He was in 2014. He was also an Athletic in 14 and a Red in 14.
He's also a Vancouver Canucks fan, apparently.
Well, we can't confirm that, but he is from Vancouver.
That's why I assumed it for you.
Yeah, but I'm from Boston. I'm a Yankees fan, so.
You're just what they like to call an anomaly.
But am I the exception that proves the rule?
You are.
But yeah, so
You're also you're probably the only Cleveland Browns fan from New England too. So
that's so false. Like I will tell you that it's false, sir. Because I've been to a Browns Patriots game. First of all, we'll talk about that for a second. We were gonna end, and now you started talking about the Cleveland Browns. So, we went to the Browns Patriots game. Me and one of my buddies, back in 21. I think it was. It was October of 21 or October of 22. Or it had to be 21.
Oh, don't worry, I got a
Because it was
just as crazy.
It was post the COVIDs, and the amount of Massachusetts license plates that had Cleveland Browns flags was far more than 3. And I took the train. So I took the train from South Station. So like we went into Boston. We met in Boston. Took the train from South Station down to Foxborough to Gillette. Because I thought it would be easier. It was. I highly suggest going that route if you're going to a Patriots or Revolution game, and the train is running specifically for the Patriots or next summer for the World Cup. I assume the train will be running for that from Boston.
Yeah.
The train, first of all, was 99% Patriots fans. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, but that's a given. But there were a few Browns fans. And there were people that, like, you'd kind of talk to them as you walked by. I'm not super social of a person, believe it or not. But a lot of them were like, oh yeah, I grew up in Newton. I grew up in Wellesley. We're too specific, I remember. And I was like, well, that's a weird place to grow up and be a Browns fan. And like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Concord. And they're like, you're just as bad. I was like, I know. It's great, isn't it? I'm also still in the Boston Browns Packers Facebook page, and I've never gone to an event. I'm just kind of in the page because I just didn't want to go into a bar in Boston to watch the Browns games when I lived at home.
That's valid.
I almost did.
Remember how I wanted to go see the Steelers in Cincinnati, and I realized I'm probably gonna like not make it back.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah.
But
You're doing it anyway, right?
Maybe not this year. Yeah, I fly. What's funny is that they play the Patriots when I'm gonna be out of town. So there's that.
I'm telling you, come to Cincinnati. Hang
I
out
already
with
did.
your good pal. The bank still has alcohol.
For now.
And I guess we have to mention it because we put it in our title and we haven't talked about it. The Celsius recall, I think, is the funniest thing in the world. The fact that it got bottled or canned as High Noon's got canned as a flavor of Celsius. I just think it's
Okay.
an all-time mistake. Like, someone loaded the
Imagine
wrong.
you're just,
Someone loaded the wrong cans. Like, at the end of the day, that's probably all it was. Someone just loaded the wrong cans on the conveyor belt.
just imagine going to you go to like UDF or something to get your Celsius,
So the convenience store I go to
and
on
then
the
you go to
base,
you drink
has,
it on the way to the gym.
so that was the two things I said about it were the two times I drink Celsius, and I don't really drink Celsius anymore as it is. It's just fallen
We're
off
Ghost
on
Energy.
Ghost Energy
We are
is
a Ghost. We're a
is
Ghost
my
Energy
go,
pod. So
is my go to, but if I'm having a Celsius, it's usually like 8 a.m. or when I'm like going to or from the gym type deal. Like that's when I drink energy drinks in general. Or when I'm driving across the country from here back to Boston. All times where if I had a Celsius and it was actually a High Noon, I'd be screwed. So that's
the number of times this happened to you, less than one.
um it is less than one. But also, for the record, I can almost guarantee you any of the states that had those the recall hidden specifically, DUI defense lawyers are gonna ride that. They're gonna ride it like, hey, how do we know it wasn't a bottled product and it's not on the operator's error? Because like if I go to the store and I buy what I think is a Celsius, and it's not a Celsius, it's not my fault that the product was improperly labeled. I made choices based on the labeling.
Yep. As is per the law of consumerism.
So that's the I think it's going to be a really interesting next couple years in those states in DUI court. As a result, any last thoughts, Alex?
No, that's really it. I think we'll go back to the regularly scheduled bits for a couple weeks, and then
One of the next 2 weeks, I don't remember which one offhand. The 14th, I will not be here. I'm actually hanging out with a friend from out of town who will be in town that week. So we are hanging out on Thursday night. So there will be no pod on the 14th.
Same thing for the 21st, because I'll be stuck in Charlotte.
So we'll go next week, and then we'll have a couple weeks off, and then hopefully, so we should do the 7th and the 28th of August. So
yep,
we'll do lineups for the next one definitely. I have Padres. You have
Arizona.
Diamondbacks. Okay, cool. So we'll definitely get that in the next one, and then we'll probably be doing lineups in the next two pods, and probably one of the two will have some trivia as well, because it's been a little while since we've done some of the trivias.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll plan it out. We'll just kind of figure out how we'll go about it, and then we will execute.
Alrighty, have yourself a great night, Alex.
You too, sir.
Alright, see ya.